All right, we welcome into the show Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Adam Thielen making a return appearance, and it will involve food discussion. We're going to have a little talk about Ambassador hot dogs in a couple of minutes. But Adam, I want to first start off by saying, we've known each other a while. Neither one of us has seen 6-1. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that's true. It feels good. Obviously, there's nothing better than winning in this league. It's not easy to do. So, any chance you get to win some ball games and stack them together to get to 6-1, it's a good feeling. But it's kind of weird because we haven't played our best football yet. So it kind of feels kind of like a little bit of mixed emotions. But shoot, I mean, a win is a win, and especially when you get six of them. But we got to find a way to continue to get better.
Okay, so there's something that I'd really like to understand better, because in journalism we try to avoid too many cliches, and things like players, coach, and culture, like those are kind of cliche labels. But in this case, it's players, coach, and Kevin O'Connell. It is a culture that feels so much different inside the locker room. I wonder if you can put a finger on this, or is it just kind of a nebulous, complicated thing that only the people inside the locker room understand?
I think it goes back to, I remember in OTAs talking to you guys, and I think it's not just one person or one thing or one player. It's just a multitude of people that are working together, a collaborative effort. That really is what you need to do to have a good culture. So you can't just say, okay, you brought in this one person or this one guy and this has changed the culture. No, that's not true. It's a collaborative effort of a lot of people, especially in football, right? There's, in the offseason there's 90 guys. Now there's, 60 some, including practice squad and all that. And then all the coaches and all the scouts and the GM and the management. So there's just so many people involved in creating a culture that you have to have leaders at the top and multiple different, spots that are working together in a collaborative effort. And I think that's what has been created here in this organization, which is really cool and is created in us giving us an opportunity to handle adversity. It's one of those things where we haven't had a ton of adversity, but we have in games, and to be able to just have that leadership from the top down has created ability to handle some tough times.
Yeah, I'm sure that fans would prefer that, the third quarter didn't exist and you just ran away with some of these games. But the other teams have good players too. It is interesting about the collaborative effort, because I've always thought that culture kind of comes down to your best players. But in this case, there's a lot of veteran players who have been around, who know how to win, who know how to succeed in the league, that are being empowered in a good way. Like normally when we hear player empowerment, it's an NBA player demanding a trade or something. But I think that what it means in this case is having a voice in the room, to use the experience that a lot of you guys have. Zadarius, Patrick Peterson, like Harrison Smith, so many players who have been through it, to influence what's happening on the field.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the more guys that have those experiences that can touch on, hey guys, like we can't relax. Like this is the NFL. It doesn't matter who we're playing week in and week out. It's tough to win in this league. And so you have to somehow find a way to kind of turn out the noise of oh, you guys are so great, you're 6-1, all this stuff. You have to find a way for all of us, each individually, to turn that off and to pretend like that our backs against the wall, because that's how this league works. It's tough to win. So you have to just find a way to use those experiences and lean on some of those veteran guys to say, hey, have you been here before, or what did you do to continue to win ball games and to stack them together and to really be your best when it comes to the end of the season. So we're gonna have to continue to do that. And Pat P last week, made sure that everyone understood that 5-1 does not get you in the playoffs, and that we have to stay on our game and be focused and stick together. And I think it's those little messages every once in a while that are really, really powerful. And they it maybe doesn't sound like much, but it means a lot.
With Peterson yesterday, it was really something to see how juiced up he was for that game, and contained himself and played a really good game. But also, enjoyed the spoils of winning with that. But I'm curious about like just you being around him for the last 2 years. This is a guy who is locked dead Hall of Famer. I asked him before the season, like, why'd you come back? Like, you've got a career that would get you a gold jacket. And he said because he thought this team could win. And I think that he wanted more moments like yesterday. I just wonder about your observation. I mean, one of the things that's interesting to me is when football people say it means something to him. And with Patrick, it really seemed to mean something to him yesterday, but mean something to continue into his 30s to prove the Arizona Cardinals wrong or people wrong that he was going to fall off, because he has been one of the best players on this team.
Yeah, I'd say first of all, the last 2 weeks he's been on just a different level. His attitude, his demeanor, his energy has been contagious, and is something that we need moving forward, because I think guys felt that, and they felt it coming from him, and they kind of turned their game up. You need guys like that in the locker room. And again, it might sound cliche to have a rah rah, all this stuff, but he's not a rah rah. He is a guy that is bringing it every single snap and in the locker room, and just that look in his eyes, you can just tell that he's on a different level right now, and playing at a high level, backing it up, which is impressive. But I go back to, I think about the first time I made a Pro Bowl, and I remember going into the Pro Bowl. You're a little nervous, you don't really know those guys. You have a ton of respect for them. A lot of guys are been there a ton of times before and are all pro guys and all this stuff. And you think like, man, they're just super gifted and all this. And obviously they work hard, obviously, but like you don't really realize those guys that are at the top of their game, Hall of Fame type guys. You don't really realize until you're around a bunch of them how hard they work and how much it means to them, how much they care about football. You're in these Pro Bowls and like all guys are talking about is, man, hey, I saw you run this route and you did this and this, and man, that was really good. And guys are talking ball. Like that's what shocked me the most, is just how much guys care and how much it means to them. And then you kind of put two and two together, like, man, that's why those guys are Pro Bowlers. That's why they're continuous all pros, and why they're gold jacket guys, because it's not only are they gifted, but everybody's gifted that's in the NFL. But they put the little extra things in, and you see that even more now with Pat P being here. His film study, his approach in the locker room, how he's teaching guys and helping guys out, and then how he practices. It's impressive, and is why he's going to be a gold jacket someday.
Yeah, I remember there was a story about Jerry Rice running hills in Honolulu or whatever before the Pro Bowl, and people were like, "What are you doing, you psycho?" But that's the work ethic. One more thing before I ask you about hot dogs and give you I'm going to give you a hot dog take.
All right.
But I want to ask you about this. So yesterday had some spectacular catches. Justin Jefferson mossing a dude. DeAndre Hopkins had several of them, including the one-handed. You have made many throughout your career. This is a two-part question. One is, how does one make a spectacular catch? Like there's the rating on Madden, spectacular catch rating, but you've made many of them. And I wonder, I have a take on what I think your best catch of your career is, but I wonder what you think it is.
Yeah, what does it take to make a spectacular? I think it's just having those ball skills, having that confidence. You can't really practice them. It just comes naturally. And the best ones in this league, or that have played in this league, they're just natural. It's there's no stress. The ball's in the air. They're relaxed, and they're kind of tracking the ball and making a play. And it just comes. You don't think about, you don't say, oh, I'm going to one hand this one, or oh, I'm going to make a crazy catch here. No, it's just reaction. And the best receivers in this league and have played in this league, they have tremendous body control and ball skills. Those kind of two combined. And I'd say, I don't know exactly what my best catch in my career is. Maybe the Saints game in the playoffs. But maybe one-hander in the end zone. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
You're thinking exactly where I was thinking. Over Marshawn Lattimore, he committed in the Minneapolis Miracle game. He committed a pass interference, and you still went up. And then I think he undercut you, and you grabbed it and came down and still had the ball. That's the one that stands out to me. There was also a Superman dive in Philly in 2018 where it was a throw from the goal line, and it was a good pass, but you had to like fully dive out. Not bad, not
That
bad.
was a tough one. That was a tough one.
That was a good one. All right, now, so you're representing Ambassador Hot Dogs, a Minnesota company. Here's my hot dog take. I don't care how old I am. I like to chop up hot dogs and put it in mac and cheese. That's probably something you would do for your children, but that's my take. That is my one of my favorite, if
Interesting.
not my favorite form of hot dogs.
Interesting. I am not that type of person. I'm a traditional, hot dog in a bun, ketchup, mustard guy. But it's been fun, Ambassador's been around Minnesota for, a company for 90 years. So that tradition, paired with, I just remember going back to like being in high school, middle school, going to football games with my dad, and like, you're in the tailgate, we're walking through the tailgates, at a Vikings game, and everybody's grilling up their hot dogs. And so like, I mean, that's what I think about when I think about Ambassador hot dogs. I think about going to those games and being in the tailgates, being a fan, which hopefully, someday I'll be able to do with my kids and show them that experience. But they love the traditional hot dog in a bun. But maybe I'll have to try that, cut it up and put in the mac and cheese for the boys. They might like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a meal for children and not for grown-ups, but I still do it. Do you have an opinion on ketchup? People are mad at ketchup I see online. I do not understand it because when I eat a hot dog in a bun that we've grilled in the back porch or whatever, just putting ketchup on that thing. And then I see people like, oh, how dare you? You need to put this in there, whatever. Like, I don't know. When did that become a problem?
Really, I didn't know that was an issue. I'm
Midwest people,
not
like Chicago people, they got a problem with that.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna do me, I guess. Yeah, you like it how you like it, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Do whatever you want. Put it in mac and cheese, put ketchup on it, whatever. Well,
Exactly.
I appreciate Ambassador Hot Dog setting this up. And it's always good to have a little fun podcast conversation with you and keep repping hot dogs, man. I know that you're a health nut and all those things, but you got to enjoy yourself as well. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, Adam.
I mean, can you can't you got to do it every once in a while. I mean, Minnesota summers on the deck overlooking the lake. Like, I mean, you kidding me? You got to have an ambassador hot dog, right?
That's, they can use that one for the perfect tagline. Thielen, gotta have an
Exactly.
ambassador hot dog. Well, very good. Well, best of luck the rest of the way. Of course, I'll see you around and appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for your
I
time.
appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you.